Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be, and of course, however you may be listening. I'm a little bit behind with this video. I had to record the reaction to the Caden Proctor commitment news. Very big news. So if you guys haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. So I won't need to delve into that too much. This video is going to be about the Iowa Hawkeyes basketball team losing to Purdue. And I was really hopeful that the Iowa Hawkeyes were going to be able to get this win. They had been playing so much better. They had some lineup changes. Josh Dix was inserted into the starting lineup and was really playing well the last two games. And this game was at home. You had Caden Proctor visiting. Had the Iowa Hawkeyes been able to get this victory, it would have been essentially an NCAA tournament clincher for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Losing this game is not the worst. Unfortunately, it does make Iowa 0-6 in quad one games at this point. And I think it's, becoming clear that Iowa, at this point, this team is not in that top 30 range. Okay. To me, the top 30 range is good to elite. Good programs to an elite program for any particular season. I think this Iowa Hawkeye team is above average, and they can even be approaching good status. But they're still working things out. And I will also say that I think that this ball club does have a decently high ceiling if they can reach it fast enough. We've seen the contributions from the freshmen, Ben Krikke, aka Ben Krikke, aka Ben Krikke, has really played mostly even better than I expected. This year I was not expecting the early contributions that we've seen from Owen Freeman. I mean, you would never have guessed that he is a true freshman in college basketball. So they are moving in the right direction. Tony Perkins is growing into his role as a facilitator, as I was hopeful he could. That was the ultimate way he could take his game to the next level. If he wants to play in the NBA or professionally, that would be the next transformation of his game, because the bottom line is Tony Perkins, number one, is not tall enough to purely be a two guard, and he doesn't shoot the ball well enough to be an undersized two guard. Now, if he was, now he is pretty athletic. I wouldn't say he's the most athletic. If he was even slightly more athletic, he could make it work as only a two guard. But as it stands, he's a undersized, slightly below average shooter at the shooting guard position. So that was the transition that he needed to make, is towards a bigger point guard role, which if he can do, I think he will be a solid, candidate possibly for the NBA down the line, but definitely professionally. Now, as for this game, bottom line is, guys, there was one stretch that defined this game for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and it was with about 10 minutes left in the first half that it started. Iowa started the game phenomenally. They were leading much of the first half, and then it started with an wide open Ben Krikke mid-range jumper that rimmed out. Ben Krikke went on to miss a few more shots that were makeable shots, and Purdue went on to make several shots. Iowa was unable to get stops, and before we knew it, 3 minutes later, Purdue is up by double figures. So that was the turning point for the game, unfortunately. And, those are the moments that Iowa misses a Jordan Bohannon, a Chris Murray, a Keegan Murray, a Luka Garza, a guy that when there is a run from a team, more specifically an elite team like Purdue, who is a national championship contender with a National Player of the Year candidate, they miss a player that can go and get a bucket on a run like that. Ben Krikke, it may end up being an all Big Ten performer. At this point, he's probably a second team all Big Ten performer at this point, but they miss a guy that they could just give the ball to and say, we need a bucket, go get it now. The thing is, at times, Tony Perkins is that guy. At times, Krikke is that guy, but they don't have a consistent guy that is that guy, if that makes any sense. Krikke ended the game with 10 points. So he actually had one of his worst games of the year. He only had 2 rebounds. He was largely ineffective. I think the length and athleticism of Purdue gave him problems. Owen Freeman, 6 points, 2 rebounds. He had much of the same issues as Krikke did. Sanford chipped in 16, Perkins 24, Josh Dix had 9. And that was pretty much it, guys. I mean, it's very interesting to see the kind of evolution of this team this year and the minutes distribution. We went from DeSante Bowen being a starter and playing 20 plus minutes to him being a bench player night in, night out, struggling to get 10 or more minutes. The problem with DeSante Bowen is unless he's scoring at the rim, he doesn't have a jumper at this point in his career. And, he also is not as good of a playmaker as, say, a Brock Harding is. So, I would not be surprised if he decides to transfer next year. I mean, the good news is next year, and that was the thought this year, but next year he'll have again a chance to take the starting spot with the graduation of Tony Perkins. I think Tony Perkins may have the COVID year if he chooses to use it. I doubt he will, but I think he does. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, and then Josh Dix, now he went from being a solid bench contributor to being inserted into the lineup, having a awful game against Iowa State, losing a ton of minutes, and now he's getting 30 plus minutes a night. Very, very interesting. These are the stats for Purdue. Iowa just could not stop Zach Edey. He totally dominated the game. Iowa actually shot a better field goal percentage than Purdue did, 45.8 compared to 44.8. That's actually not bad. I mean, if you can hold Purdue to under 50% shooting, it's not bad. Iowa shot 29% from 3 at home. Terrible. That's never going to win you games. Purdue was not much better, but they still were better. They knocked down 4 more 3-point shots than Iowa did. Iowa also missed free throws. Ben Krikke missed 2 free throws in that run that Purdue had. So 2 of those misses are from him in that run. What do I always say, guys? You have to shoot minimum 70% from the charity stripe. Minimum. As a team. Total rebounds. Holy crap. I did not see this stat until now. 50 to 24. Wow. That is the difference in the ball game right there. 50. And that's why Iowa had to go to Lajai Dembele. They just had to. 50 to 24. Offensive rebounds, 19 to 4. Defensive rebounds, 31 to 20. Assists, 19 to 15. Blocks, 6 to 1. Steals, 4 to 6. Turnovers. Iowa had less turnovers than Purdue. So that's it, guys. I mean, like I said, this is not the worst loss. I do think it is going to start hurting Iowa that they don't even have one win versus a quad one team. Of course, that is subject to change as teams improve, teams get worse. Um, let's see here. I mean, even now, the losses are to the number 2 Ken Pom team, the number 12, number 13, number 14, and number 20 team in the country. Okay. So they're not the worst losses in the world. But again, it is going to start hurting Iowa that they don't even have one quad one victory. They are 45th in Ken Pom. Let's take a look at the net sheet. And then we'll get out of here. Take me to the river. Iowa 48th in the net rankings. Not bad. I would say that Iowa is in about half of the they're in about half of the NCAA tournament bracketology predictions. So, man, hopefully that Michigan loss can move up to a quad 2 loss. That'll really help Iowa. Iowa has a must-win game against Maryland. They have to win that game. They have after that, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. They have one after the Maryland game, which is a must-win game 4 days from now, the 24th. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 very winnable games against quad 2 opponents. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quad 1 games left. So Iowa is going to have to go in this next stretch of games if they want to make the NCAA tournament. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the next 6 games, Iowa is going to have to go 4-2 if they want to make the NCAA tournament. Preferably, the 2 losses come against either, against, obviously it'd be preferable that they go 6-2 or 6-1 or 7 or what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6-1 or 7-0. But I think let me count that again. 1, 2, 3. So 7. So if they can go 5-2, obviously of those 2 losses, the best case is losing to 2 quad 2 teams. They win, and 2 of the wins come against quad 3, and then the 3 other wins come against quad 2. That'll be very good. They have to go 5-2. If they, at worst, they can go 4-3. If they want to make the NCAA tournament, at worst, they can go 4-3. And the reason why I say that is because look at this brutal stretch that Iowa is going to have after they play Maryland on the road. Quad 1 against Wisconsin, quad 1 against Michigan State, quad 1 against Illinois, quad 3 against Penn State, quad 1 against Northwestern, quad 1 against Illinois. Okay. So that is that. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Again, I think Iowa is moving in the right direction. I definitely think they're well within the NCAA tournament conversation. I think if they can go 5-2, well, not could they? I think they absolutely can go 5-2. I think they're capable of going 6-1. So, I don't want you guys to be too down on the Iowa Hawkeye men's basketball team. I think they definitely have a chance to make the NCAA tournament. All right, guys. Last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy with all facts or feelings because your feelings just don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye.